Welcome to Leave It Better. My dad says every person we meet leaves a mark on our lives, and every choice we make can leave a mark on the world. This is a space for hope, for love, and for stories that remind us we are all connected. So take a deep breath and let's leave it better together.
Welcome to the Leave It Better podcast. This is episode 1. I am your host, Dwain Daniels. First, quick shout out to my daughter, Maya, who created the intro for her daddy. So that was great. So this is the first episode. I wanted to go into why I created this. How did it come about? Why do I want to leave it better? Why do I think you should want to leave it better? This journey started for me back I feel like in May of this year. But really all my life, I would say, because this is exactly who I've been all my life. And I just think that this trip in May magnified it for me. So let's rewind back to May. I turned 50 years old. I know I don't look it, right? I look about 40, right? You think? Maybe? But I turned 50 years old. I'm very excited about that. My wife planned a trip to Cancun, Mexico for me. We invited some friends and family. Well, really, I might as well say all family because these are friends that are more like family to me anyway. My brothers, my cousins, and some other friends from my wife's side that became family to me because we've gotten so close. So all I asked on this trip was that, hey, come out there, have a great time. I don't want you to feel like you have to spend this enormous amount of time with me because I know it's a vacation for you as well. I just asked that they attend one dinner with me, which they did, but they did more than that. We spent a lot of time together, which was awesome. So the one dinner, which is my 50th celebration dinner, we had everybody there. What I did not know was that my wife was going to ask everybody to say something about me. And it turned into an emotional wreck. Everybody was crying, but it was good. It was just really great to hear the impact that I had on people. And I didn't know, because I was just trying to show up in the right way. And that really sparked me to start thinking about it a lot, particularly since I turned 50. And I really feel that there are times where God is talking to me. And I feel like this is something that if I didn't do and I left off the table, then I was doing a disservice not only to myself, but to him. So what I wanted to do was create a platform where we highlighted people who are leaving this place better. And I'm not talking about big time celebrities or things like that. These are people that I've known, whether personally or I've met through Instagram and gotten to know them really, really good. These people were chosen specifically. I didn't put out a big ad and say, hey, anyone join my podcast? I didn't want it to be like that. So again, this started back in May, and that kind of planted the seed. And then I feel like late June, early July, I really was like, I have to do this. And I have to do it right. And I have to take my time. And if anybody knows me, one of my traits as a Taurus is that I don't like to wait, right? Especially if it's a great idea or something that I feel real passionate about. I'm super impatient, man. And I just want to just dive in and put it out. But I'm going to tell you what inspired me to kind of slow down. Another thing that people know about me is I love hip hop. And I studied the rollout of the clips and how intentional it was and how they took their time and how they built up to it. And I was like, man, I need to slow down because I want this to feel right. I want people to know how much I care about it. So this is why it took longer than usual. At least for me, a couple months for some people might be like, that's nothing. I do that all the time when I roll out something new. But for me, I needed it to feel different. I needed it to go at a pace that I felt was right. For the listener, I wanted to make sure I really was calculated in who I asked to be on this because I wanted people that I felt would give you great value from the podcast. Like, these are people for me that are smart, that come from diverse backgrounds, that have done amazing things, and they have amazing stories to share. And I'm really looking forward to you guys hearing some of these stories. And for me, like, I don't know all the details from the stories, right? So it's going to be an adventure for me when I interview them and hearing everything. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that stuff with you guys. But that's how it started. And my why for it is my kids, man. My wife, my mom, my dad, rest in peace. Like, I wanted to leave something that stays here long after I'm gone, so that the next generation that comes about, my kids, if they ever want to hear my voice again, or they want to listen to something, or they want to see a video, I'm there, in living color. You can hear my voice, and I think there's just so many stories that I have that I want to share. And there's so many stories from the guests I'm going to invite on here that they're going to share, and they're going to make your life better. They're going to enrich you. And that's the whole purpose. Like, we just want to leave things better, little things at a time. And it doesn't have to be these really big, gigantic things when we think about leaving the space better. I'll give you one example. Going shopping, right? I finish, put my cart away. One of my pet peeves? When I see people leave carts sprayed all over the place, when you can just park your cart right there for the next person not to have to do it, right? So for me, I see it, I'll put the cart back, and that's, to me, leaving it better for the next person, like someone that's trying to park in that space. Yes, there's other parking spaces, but be considerate of other people and their feelings and what they may be going through. Maybe they just want to drive in real quick and park right there. And it doesn't seem like a big inconvenience at that time, but, just think about that. So not big, giant things, but the small things that lead up to big things is what I mean by leaving it better. And sometimes it is a big gesture, but don't focus on the big gesture. Just focus on showing up daily and doing the small things to leave this place better. So to also build on the authenticity of this episode, what I did is ask my faithful friend, ChatGPT, to bring up 5 questions for me about Leave It Better, so I can answer those things wholeheartedly, and, let's see what happens. I didn't read them yet. I just asked them and then I closed it. So I'll read out the first question for you. The first one is, what does Leave It Better mean to me personally? I think I explained that in the beginning, but personally for me, it's exactly what I said a little while ago. It's just showing up in spaces in the right way and leaving people in a better space than when you met them first, right? Like, I've always wanted to leave people in a space where if we had a conversation, you left there like, man, it was really good meeting Dwain, or I felt better after that conversation with Dwain. And it's not about the big thing. Again, it's like just showing up and being there for people in the right way and leaving that space better. So that's what that means for me personally. Okay, question number 2. What life experience shaped this mindset? So, what life experiences? Wow. I've had so many. I think the beauty is that I've met great people along the way that really cared about leaving me better. Did I have some bad instances as well? Yeah, absolutely. But I think my greatest impacts obviously has been my mom, who's always been someone that leaves her space better. She's always had a home that was inviting to other people. She's always loved on other people. She's always very supportive, even of people that she doesn't really know. She'll be like, hey, Dwayne, this is your cousin from blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, don't know them, but cool. All right. So she opens up their home for everybody. And I think I learned that from her. And I also learned that from my auntie Cakes. Rest in peace. She's another just great soul, great heart. Someone that always left you with a smile. She just had this contagious smile, was always happy, and you just felt better after you left her. And that still resonates with me, and I miss her a lot, and I'm grateful to still have my mom here. But those are 2 people that definitely have had an impact on me. And I would say also my dad, Vietnam vet. He had a lot of stuff that he went through, a lot of trauma, not a lot of good situations. We had our things, but one thing I would always say is that I never doubted that my dad loved me. And he always gave more than he had, which not a good thing all the time, right? But he was just a good person, that loved his siblings. And when he passed away and I went down to Florida to have to bury him, it was tough, but it was probably the best thing I did in my life, because I had a lot of resentment for a long time, which I did close the casket on that, pun intended, a couple years before he passed, because thanks to my sister Tanja, who helped make that happen, where I was able to kind of just reconcile that, it's okay. He's been through some stuff. But then when I got there, to bury him, and then talking more to my aunts and my uncles and learning more about how he grew up, I then had a greater understanding of who he was and a greater love for him. And I explain that to people And sometimes it's weird for me because I feel like I love him more in death. Not that I didn't love him when he was here, but like I think because I've garnered more, even more respect, and I was able to have a lot more understanding of the things that he went through that shaped a lot of the poor choices and the decisions he made. Because at the end of the day, I think what we all need to understand about our parents is that they're going to fall short, because they're human, right? And then I think if we start diving into their stories and then figuring out what triggered some of these things, then we can close the gap and change it for the next generation. So yeah, that was a long answer, but that's what kind of shaped my mindset. Those are three people that kind of really helped shape it, and I've been like that ever since. So question number 3: why did I feel called to start this podcast? My why, I think I talked about that in the beginning. It's my kids, my wife, my mom, my dad. Like I've always wanted to just create something where people feel better after listening to it. The interactions, like that's my why. I want to leave this place in a better state, and I want my mom to always be proud of me. I want my kids to be proud of me. That's important to me. Legacy for me, that's super important for me. And the legacy for me has never been. No, let me circle back. To be honest, legacy for me before was material. There were things, I have to have this status, I have to get this, I got to get that, I got to chase this. But as you get older, you start to really, really realize that these things, material things, as much as I do like material stuff, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. I can't take those things with me. I can leave some stuff for my kids. They might use it, they might not. But my messages, how I treat them, how I show them how I treat other people, how I show up and treat their mother, how I show up and treat their mother as a wife, right? Those are important lessons. Those are legacy building lessons. Those are generational changing lessons. And those are the type of things that I want to leave behind. So that's my why, and that's why. Okay, what do I want people to feel after each episode? I want people to feel hope. I want people to feel that there are really good people left in this world that care about leaving this space better. We're bombarded by so much information daily. Some of it negative, a lot of it negative, with social media, the news. It's hard, man. Sometimes we're drowning and we need a lifeline. And sometimes you just want to hear a calming voice, a good conversation, something positive. How have you touched people, like, and in a positive way? Like, those things matter still. And I think I don't want that to be lost. I want people to understand that those things still do matter. And if we promote those good things and we show up and we present this to the world, and I'm able to help a couple people, and this episode reaches one person, and that one person tells another person and two other people, it's not about numbers for me. And if I was doing this because of that, then this would not be authentic. For me, I'm doing it because I feel there is a need. I feel it's my purpose. I felt like I was put here to be better for other people, to leave their spaces better. I really do feel that way. I think God is really giving me a gift in doing that. I've been someone that's always, like, naturally people have come talk to me about things because I don't know. It's just been that way. And it could be because of my mom's spirit, and I've gotten that from her, and like I said, my aunt and my dad. Like, it's how I grew up. And I didn't grow up in the best circumstances, not in the greatest neighborhood. Grew up during the crack era, but I still was able to hold on to some things. And there were some things personally that could have broken me. There's some choices I could have made that took me to a very bad place, and I didn't. I just feel like God had another plan for me. And a lot of times I think I was running away from that plan, because, you start to create scenarios sometimes about what you can't do or what you shouldn't be doing. And for me, it was learning that I can do all those things and leaning more into it. And look, I'm 50 years old and I'm finally leaning into it. But this journey for me, for Leave It Better started this year. But again, like I said, this has kind of been who I am all my life. But I think the journey of becoming the best version of myself has started years ago. Like, and it's been a constant, like, okay, how do I get better little by little? And it started with really a session I had with my coach, Devin, who will be a guest on this. at some point. I won't tell you what episode, but he's going to be on. He already agreed. Great coach. He really got the mind working and thinking like I can do this. So so Leave It Better is gonna be that kind of space for those conversations, and for my coaching, I'm gonna be doing coaching as well. And I think for me, what also spoke to me this year was there was an interview with Jameis Winston, and he was on the Pivot podcast. Shout out to those brothers. Great, great podcast. I love listening to them. That's another thing. Sorry, I know I'm going off topic, but those guys are great as well. And I created this because there's lanes for everybody, right? Not everybody listens to Pivot. Not everybody listens to whatever. But we all have different tastes. It's like Netflix, right? So I'm hoping I can fit into one of those spaces for you guys. But going back to that conversation he said that I think sometimes we don't dream big enough. And that resonated with me. And he explained a little bit more because he said his dream was always to make it to the NFL. He never dreamt about winning the Super Bowl, MVPs, doing all the other things that come with that, right? Like, so his dream stopped at making it to the NFL. So I would encourage you, when you're dreaming and you're building your goals, get specific with your goals, man. Get to that. What is the ultimate accomplishment? What do you want to continue to build? What does that look like? And how do we create that, right? That's one of the things I want to do for you guys is with my coaching is how do I create that for you guys? So that is, that's what I want people to feel after each episode. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent a little bit on some other stuff. People that know me sometimes, I do that because I like to talk about stuff that's good and it makes me happy, makes me feel good. That's why I'm smiling. And when I get information, I want to share that stuff with you guys. So that's what I want people to feel. I want people to feel hope, calm, that there are good people out in this world that are doing good things, that really care about leaving the space better. Okay, last question. What's my promise to the listener as we go on this journey together? My promise to you as a listener is authenticity. I will always be who I am. I'm not fake. I'm not phony. I will always, always lead with love. I'm not perfect. I will make mistakes, but I'm accountable. And that's all I can promise you. And I'll promise you to have, good people that are give you good stories and that are going to help you leave this place better. It's been, it feels good. When sometimes, people ask you, when you have a job or whatever it is you're doing, like, what does it feel like for you? Is this what you're supposed to be doing? And for me, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think sometimes you got to do things scared with a little fear behind it. Was I scared to do this? Yes, absolutely. Even though I started a podcast a couple years ago, people that follow me, I did one called Mean 16, which is hip hop based. I love hip hop. As much as it resonated for me, and the people that I, did listen to it said it was really good, they enjoyed it. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And when I say it wasn't what I wanted to do, it wasn't my calling, right? This feels like my calling. This feels 100% right, 1,000% right. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I want to touch as many people as I can in a way that makes them feel seen more than anything else, right? I want people to feel seen. And there was a video that I saw where the guy had just got out of jail, and it's one of these Instagram clips where the guy was asking some questions. He's going to give him some money. He just asked about his story, and he was like, you didn't dehumanize me. You made me feel seen. And I think more than anything else, people just want to feel seen and heard. And that's what I want to do. I feel like this is what I should be doing. So again, I'm just happy to be in this space. It's been overwhelmingly beautiful to see the response of people that are excited about me doing this. I guess sometimes for me, I don't expect those things, but it was really beautiful to see how people have shown up for me so far. I hope you continue to show up. I hope you stick around for the journey. This was the initial Leave It Better episode. Listen, I tried to be authentic. I did a couple questions. I'm going to give you some great guests. I'm really excited about that. Oh my gosh. There's so many people that said yes without hesitation. There's no one that actually said no. Some people were like, well, like next quarter, maybe maybe in January. So I'm still figuring out the structure of how often I'm going to drop episodes. Some will be like this, where it's solo, where I might be talking about a particular topic for 15, 20 minutes. Others will be guests related. Right now I have about 4 guests lined up. So I'm going to figure out, is that going to be weekly? Is it going to be monthly? You guys will probably determine the frequency, how much you love it, how much more content you want. I don't want to overload anybody, but I want you guys to know that I truly appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for taking this journey for me. And I want you to always think about how you can leave it better, how you can leave people better after you speak to them. How can you leave spaces better when you leave them? How do you show up for the people that you love? So keep those 3 things in mind. And remember, it does not have to be anything big. All right. So you have a great rest of the day. And remember, when you leave it better. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to Leave It Better. I'm Dwain Daniels, and my hope is that today's conversation gave you a little more peace, a little more hope, and a reminder that how we show up still matters. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need it. And remember, when you leave it better.